Hello, dear participants in our Flipped Learning EVO session for 2018, and welcome to Week 4, Flexible Environment. During this week, you will reflect on the pillar of flexible environment and discuss how flexible you can make your environments for flipping. Discuss ways to give students a variety of opportunities for showing content mastery within the Flipped Learning environment. Review your lesson plan and analyze it based on a checklist displaying the flipped learning pillars and indicators, and view and comment on other participants' lesson plans using the same checklist based on the flipped learning pillars and indicators. So buckle up for a very interesting week. So first of all, a flexible environment is not about the physical space, but the multiplicity of learning experiences required in a classroom, due to the variety of students and their needs. Considering Carol Tomlinson's definition of differentiated instruction, differentiation means tailoring to meet individual needs. Whether teachers differentiate content, process, or products, or the learning environment, the use of ongoing assessment and flexible grouping makes this a successful approach to instruction. So, as the teacher, when flipping a classroom, frees up space in the group learning space from direct instruction, can devote then to the generation of different learning opportunities for all students to feel included. Thus, of course, even though we might move some chairs around for this to happen, a flexible environment is not only about the physical space. Taking into consideration our flexible environment pillar, we would like to direct your attention to the highlighted areas. Flipped learning allows for a variety of learning modes. Educators often physically rearrange the learning spaces to accommodate a lesson or unit to support either group work or independent study. So yes, we might move some things around. However, we also create flexible spaces in which students choose where and when they learn. Thus, in this unit, we are going to go deeper a little bit on in-class flip. Furthermore, educators who flip their classes are flexible in their expectations of student timelines for learning and in their assessment of student learning. So here is where mastery and differentiation take place. Let's look at the indicators one by one. F1, first indicator of the flexible environment pillar. I establish spaces and time frames that permit students to interact and reflect on their learning as needed. So this indicator refers to something very important in regards to the flexible environment. We flexibilize time and space, as you can see in the indicator, spaces and time frames. Thus, it means that students can have and show their mastery prior to class, during class through an exit slip, or after class with some homework or some assignments. Also, when we differentiate, we don't only do it with content, allowing for students to think about their learning process as needed, making students more autonomous and more metacognitively aware. And also, as you can see in this word, we have in this indicator, we have the word reflect, where we have something important. As students are participating in active learning environments, they own their own learning process. Thus, reflection becomes an important and crucial aspect of a flipped learning environment for students to know what they're doing right and where they can do better. Our second indicator says, I consciously observe and monitor students to make adjustments as appropriate. So in here, we consider the flexibility in design that we need to have when thinking about a flipped environment. This flexibility in design pushes us towards classroom research, where we are observing our students, we are documenting the processes they're going through, and we are making adjustments. So action research takes a very strong place in our classrooms if we're flipping. Also, the presence of constant feedback, checkpoints, or different moments for us to check with students if their needs are being met, make differentiation a reality in a flipped classroom. In a flipped classroom or in a flipped learning setting, our curriculum is not set on stone. Yeah, we do plan it, but it's not something that is there not to change. It is actually flexible, like the spiral we see in the picture. The indicator 3, F3, I provide students with different ways to learn content and demonstrate mastery. So in here, we can have students learn by stations. We can help them in differentiating their content through a learning menu or a theme-tic-toe or any other strategy that will give our students choice and different ways to show what they have learned. We do it orally in text, not only with summative assessment, but we also provide the option of formative assessment so that students can really demonstrate what they know. So we have some samples. For example, we have Jeff and his team presenting at Oregon TESOL 2017 in an in-class flip mode. We also have one of Martha's tweets about in-class flip on compound sentences. You can follow Martha on Twitter, or you can follow the Flip Learning Network and learn about her different implementations. And we can also see some of my students on a grammar review. You can also follow me on Twitter and Jeff and all of the members of the team to see some more examples, pictures, and videos. Okay, so this week we are going to have 3 important reflection questions for our Google Plus community. First of all, what opportunities and limitations are there for flexibility from flipping in your context? Second, how can we provide different opportunities for students to show content mastery within a flipped learning environment? And 3, what type of activities could facilitate differentiation in your context? What we would like you to do is to reflect on these 3 questions and either answer the 3 of them or choose one that you would like to discuss with the members of our Google Plus community. Also, don't forget this week's task. You are going to go over the pillar flexible environment and answer the discussion questions on Google Plus, the ones we just saw in this slide. 2, you're going to use the Flip Lesson Plan Assessment Checklist to reflect on your lesson. Write a short paragraph reflecting on the strengths and weak points of your lesson compared to the indicators. So if you go to our Anvil page, you can find the checklist in there. I'll show you where. So we're here on Anvil. You're going to go to 4.2 Resources and Ideas, and you're going to scroll down our page where you find the Flipped Lesson Plan Assessment Checklist. Here you can grab our lesson plan format, for assessment format, and use it to first self-assess and second assess or just view and comment on a couple of colleagues' lesson plans. We also have here a video for you that Kevin and I prepared back in 2015. You can check it out to see how I gave feedback to Kevin and how we discussed the lesson plan that he posted. There. So as you check the checklist for your own lesson, think of the following questions. What elements do you consider are the highlight of the lesson you planned? What aspect, pillar indicator, do you think you need to work on the most? And what do you consider is the biggest challenge in the planning process of a flipped lesson? Post your reflection in Google+. Also, do the same for 1 or 2 other participants' lesson plans. Check the lesson plan and provide some feedback based on the checklist. We are a community and constructive feedback is much welcomed. Post the checklist with your comments as a response to your colleagues' reflection on their own lesson plans. Make revisions and adjustments to your lesson based on comments you received from fellow participants. I know this week sounds a bit challenging, but it is one of the highlights of our sessions. So please take the opportunity and check somebody else's lesson plan so you can get yours checked, and you will see how your lesson plan will be so much richer at the end of this week. Thank you very much for watching, and see you on the Google+. Bye.